What it is, everybody. Happy Monday after the holiday. But it's not really over yet. The holiday's not over until the Queen goes live again on YouTube. But tonight's a big night, actually. Welcome to the show, regular listeners and Candace minions, as Alex Jones says. Welcome to the show. We will engage in conversation today. We are still talking about it because I happen to be interested. On the other hand, I may simply be playing the algorithm, which I'm going to talk about today a little bit. We're going to talk about schizo thinking today, which we're seeing a lot of. And I've also participated in before. So I'm in a unique position to be able to talk about it. So is the whole world out to get me? The Jews. That's what Candace Owens says. It's her versus everyone. And everyone must be paid to be changing their mind about her. So we're going to just counter that particular argument and use something like Occam's razor to make it a little more simple. I think we're going to try at least. Which is that people do things for simple reasons. It's rarely, but sometimes. Integrity. Integrity sometimes plays a role. And I think some people have shown integrity. But maybe I haven't, truly. I was skeptical a long time ago, but afraid to say anything. Yeah, maybe it's because the algorithm wouldn't favor it. Maybe it's because I'd get mass unsubscriptions. Who knows? I knew a long time ago, immediately, because I'm not an idiot, that supporting the Charlie Kirk conspiracy theory would be very good for my channel, especially since I have a channel built on subscribers that subscribe during conspiracy theory times. So I just want to suggest that people are motivated by simple things: clicks, attention, praise, and money. People are motivated by money. So we're just going to show you some charts to try to show you that people were getting paid to support Candace Owens, actually. And Candace Owens was getting paid to push Charlie Kirk conspiracy theories. And now people are getting paid. Now people are getting paid by the algorithm to criticize her, which wasn't the truth before Mitch fucked everything up. So Tina Keefe says she's doing an X Space tonight. I will be sure to be finished before that X Space. I will be tuned in. Will it be a catastrophe? Will she let anyone talk who disagrees with her tonight? Because she's able to live relatively safely up until this point within an echo chamber. And willing to count on many simps and sycophants to blindly support her no matter what she says. And some of those people are now having second thoughts. And Candace is now attacking them the same way she's attacked everybody else she doesn't like. So that turned ugly this weekend. So it turned ugly this weekend when what some people are saying was her primary supporter on X, Evan Kilgore, decided to say he can no longer support the Candace Owens investigation because he doesn't believe Mitch Snow and he's seen the stuff. Here, let's see if I can center my eyes better. How can I do that? So I don't look like I'm not looking you in the eye. I want to show my sincerity. But anyway, this guy, Evan Kilgore, there are many different realms of virtual spaces. YouTube is a realm, but it's different than the realm on X. Candace occupies both realms. And she has different supporters and different avenues. When I interviewed Isaac Cappy, he was in a different realm. He hadn't been introduced to YouTube yet. So I brought him to the YouTube realm, actually, by reposting his Periscope streams and getting lots of views for them. And then I was the first person to interview Isaac Cappy, which was controversial. And I don't know how much criticism I received for it, as a matter of fact. It was another interview I did, which was more similar, but not all the way there, to this Mitch Snow character. So I have experience. As to whether she's being schizo, I can talk about that because I'm a little schizo at times. Longtime listeners can vouch for that. Is she having a psychotic episode? Well, I don't want to get her locked up in a mental institution, but it's worth considering. What do you call someone who thinks that the whole world is engaged in a conspiracy to get them? You would call them Candace Owens and Mitch Snow at this time, both of whom have fanciful stories about how everybody is somehow in a conspiracy out to get them. Mitch Snow, who has a record a mile long for beating women, claims that all these women were involved in a conspiracy against him, that they all like to take advantage of guys like him. And then the judges were in a conspiracy against him. And he went on another podcast saying that there was a conspiracy against him. So Mitch Snow and Candace Owens are similar in those ways. That's kind of like what you would, those are mind states that you would say, you could say like a paranoid schizophrenic thinks that way. Or if you're having, or if you want to like lower it a little bit, a bipolar person having an episode might think that way. If you're having a mental health episode, you might think people are engaged in a conspiracy against you. But I don't know if she is. And I don't know now. I said at the beginning when I started talking about her, because I've been skeptical a long time, that I thought she was being honest, at least, about what she believed, and that she just wasn't being careful, that she doesn't vet her sources when they come in and tell her something that she wants to hear, basically, especially. So when she got the info, probably from somebody else, she's like Crowdsource the Truth, which is an old show that was got tips from viewers and ended up shutting down a United States port based on tips from viewers, because is George Webb and Jason Goodman, that because they got a tip that there was like a nuclear weapon on board. That was totally not true. And I don't think they got charged. And now George Webb is back in the picture. So that's, but as far as what I'm saying is, it's not, like I said, before now, you know what? Let's play our intro. Let's grift a little bit. And then I'll get into it. We have to play the intro at some point to let you know the show has started. So I will do that, and then we'll get to it. And then we'll maybe play Alex Jones and laugh at him and stuff too. Alex Jones, I was laughing about Alex Jones. He is an amusing character. And I think he's Bill Hicks. Speaking of conspiracy theories, I genuinely do. I think still, because I've done some research on it before. And it was a mashup I did that ended up in the most popular video. It was stolen from my video, my photo matchup, where they had the exact same face, literally. So I am a conspiracy theorist. And I won't tell you everything. All right, let's get started. Thanks for joining me for the show. Let's enjoy it. Let's have some fun. Let's get educated. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is. Joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news. Thank you. On topic. Thank you. Cave 8MP says, come on, man. Are they paying you? Well, who and for what? Well, let's find out. If you support this narrative, or if you call it a narrative, because we're going to talk about all the ins and outs. If you support this narrative, you can pay me for it. Even if you're from Israel, even if you're Benjamin Netanyahu, if you're watching this video because I'm such a big deal that I would get paid to push some kind of narrative, then please do. I welcome it today only. From Zionists, from Benjamin Netanyahu, even though I got banned from PayPal by probably Jewish interests, even though I got kicked off YouTube, I'm demonetized on YouTube, which used to be a sign that those are the people telling the truth. Now you're telling the truth. You get thousands and thousands of dollars in super chats and you run lots of ads. Even when you're talking about somebody dying and his wife killing them, you get, promoted actually by YouTube. Different times. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. And then I can say, yes, they are paying me. Buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil because my channel isn't monetized. Because I'm actually controversial, I guess. I can't even get super chats because I talked about COVID vaccines, which I don't think Candace Owens did when it was happening. Very few people who wanted to keep their YouTube channels. Jimmy Dore didn't talk about it on YouTube until it was allowed. And he had a special YouTube handler that allowed him to. All of us who actually talked about it, we lost our channels. So anyway, you can pay me now though. Buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. Or you can buy a t-shirt, which is even better for you, because you get something for your money and it's about the same price. For the price of one coffee, $5, you can buy a t-shirt, actually. Some of the t-shirts on this website, or two coffees for most of them. $10. This is a liquidation sale for Truth Revolution clothing. Because I didn't sell out to the algorithm on this one. I could have. I'll show you what would have happened to my channel. If I had gone with it, I'll show you what would have happened to my channel. I know it would have happened. You can buy these shirts, which are on liquidation sale, going out of business sale, for $10 and $5. And they say things like, question everything, truth matters, propaganda. This is a great one. We still have these in stock in several sizes. Propaganda, and it's kind of an illegal t-shirt because I use those logos. That's a great shirt. $10. Question everything we still have. We have Bitcoin and cryptocurrency shirts. Those are definitely in stock in various sizes. Some of them are $5 and they're nice. They're not drop shipped. We actually paid for them and have them left over in stock. So buy those. And then ladies in particular, we definitely still have sizes of these question everything shirts, and everybody can agree on that. I agree on that. Yes, questions. Questions are good. Question everything. So get those, ladies in particular. We definitely have those left. And those are nice. Bella and canvas. super high quality, screen printed. They last a long time. They're soft. They're comfortable. They make you look good. Everything you want from a grifting YouTuber. Truthclothing.io. It's right across the bottom of the screen. Nothing like strolling around town in a shitcoin tee. You mean Litecoin? Yeah, I know. It's $5 though. So you can sleep in it or something. It's a nice shirt. And it says HODL on it. So, but yeah, I know. I had to transition at one time because truth was completely illegal on YouTube for a while. I became a cryptocurrency channel for like 5 minutes. Because I couldn't talk about anything else on YouTube. And then we ordered a bunch of t-shirts and then we stopped doing the cryptocurrency thing. It wasn't working out. So, okay, let's look at the chat a little bit. I want to know where Wolfgang Halbig went. Yeah, that'd be an interesting guest. I would never have Wolfgang Halbig on as a guest again, because he turned into more of a conspiracy theorist than he was originally. And he started questioning things that I didn't agree with, kind of. So like he basically, I think he said, the thing that I didn't get with him was he said that George Floyd, like it was a hoax or something. I was like, oh, I think he died. So anyway, Wolfgang Halbig, was he a guest that you would have on again? Wolfgang Halbig basically lost Alex Jones a ton of money. I had Wolfgang Halbig on my show 3 times talking about SH, the unmentionable. I've done many deep dives on SH, the unmentionable, on other platforms. My opinions about it have evolved over time, but Wolfgang Halbig was a good guest. He was a school safety specialist who designed crisis plans for school shootings. So I think it was fair to have him on to give his opinion about the shooting in Newtown, Connecticut. I think actually it was fair to have him on as a guest. Now I wouldn't have him on again probably, but he's still around. I think I still sometimes get his emails from Wolfgang, but I couldn't possibly host him. They would sue me or something. I mean, obviously they got Alex Jones over it. So anyway, but I did do 3 interviews with him. All right. So anyway, going back to this story, let's see. I want to talk about the algorithm. Candace Owens, this is what I was saying, is that I wasn't going to accuse Candace Owens of being a liar on purpose. That's where I was at. She's not lying on purpose. She believes what she's saying. She just doesn't actually do any research, which she doesn't. And she doesn't actually vet her information, which she clearly doesn't. She gets emails. And if she likes them, she reads them. She gets tips. And if she likes it, she goes with it. For example, the Egyptian planes have been debunked. I'm sorry to say, until, and Candace, this is basically on Candace Owens. She agrees that there were problems with what she presented about the Egyptian planes. She agrees. So this should not be controversial for people who claim the planes haven't been debunked. She agrees that there's something wrong with what she posted because she said weeks ago now that she was about to post something as a follow-up showing it more clearly, which note has not happened. And I suggest isn't going to happen because she was mistaken. Not lying on purpose necessarily, but mistaken. So that has been debunked. As far as Mitch Snow, there has been one alibi provided, which is really good. And everyone is saying that no one has provided an alibi and they're being weird about it, the congressman is on camera. And if he's not, then Candace Owens, if she's being honest, I'm open now to that she's lying on purpose because it's gotten to be ridiculous. If you're an honest person, you admit when you make a mistake. She hasn't admitted she made a mistake on the Egyptian plains. She hasn't brought up the assassination plot again. She hasn't brought up Jonathan Schmidt, the secret Israeli assassin that was in town to kill her. She hasn't brought up Pierre Dupont again, probably because she doesn't want to get sued. So those things, like, she hasn't ever given any evidence for her most serious claims, especially in regards to her latest guest, who contacted her because of God, right? She saw his email because she prayed to God in a mess of 52,000 unread emails or something like that. She said his email was at the top after she prayed to God that something would happen because she was losing it a little bit after the meeting with Erica Kirk. Everybody has to admit things were going sideways in a hurry after she had the meeting with Erica Kirk and seemed to have a detente with Erica Kirk. Everybody in her chat, well, I'm not going to say everybody, but a large percentage of her chat that day, the day after the Erica Kirk meeting, had turned on her. For sure. People were super chatting her to tell her off during that show. So something happened after the Erica Kirk meeting where people were clearly upset that she wasn't still attacking Erica Kirk. Then she prayed to God that she would get something for her investigation, and she found somebody who would put the blame back on Erica Kirk conveniently, and everybody loved it. I tuned in for that show. Even though everybody was falling asleep because he was super boring when he actually came on the show, at the end, he accused Erica Kirk, and all the ladies in the chat were like, wow, I knew it. My jaw just hit the floor, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That was what was happening in the live chat. I predicted that day that things were about to get insane for Candace Owens. And today is maybe the culmination of things getting insane, or we're seeing it basically. Because people are turning against her, and the algorithm is starting to favor attacking Candace Owens. When Tim Pool said everybody was a coward for not attacking Candace Owens, even though Tim Pool went well too far. I mean, he called it a C word and stuff and blamed her for conservatives losing the election or whatever other nonsense. He was right. People were afraid to criticize Candace Owens, probably until now, because now the algorithm likes it, actually. So this is why this episode is called The Rise and Fall of Candace Owens. I was going to call it slave to the algorithm, but I said victim of the algorithm. The algorithm now favors Candace Owens' criticism, which is problematic for Candace. And now people are seeing that and jumping ship. But let me look at the chat. I see people. Thank you, Inquisitive 5 LTV Grift. You act like Candace has already failed. Not reality, not turning against her, turning against people like you. Bye, dude. Well, stick around. Jeez. I'm willing to engage with you. She has, until further notice, failed. And until further notice, she has failed, actually. She's been debunked on her biggest claims. Her biggest show What her big witness didn't see is as a compulsive liar, proven, woman beater, and he was motivated to lie because Candace raised $143,000 for him. One of the people he accused has given an alibi where he's literally on camera all the way across the country. People say it's fuzzy. People can say whatever. Looks just like him. So people are really stretching credulity to say that guy's not the guy on camera. The hair is very distinctive. And he said he wasn't there. And at least one point in the day, everybody agrees he wasn't there. So she better talk about that tonight. Or no, she's lost it. She's jumped the shark. She can fix it by being honest. And like I said, what's my grift? Well, except now that the algorithm maybe favors criticism. So yeah, you can say I'm grifting. That's fair. But you can't say she's winning. Jackie says, I agree. She is a gullibility test. It's insane. I have an issue. Like, I try to pick fights with people on Twitter to talk about the logic they're using. The logic is kind of crazy. Now I'm going through the chat. I want to make sure to. Zachary says, I'd smash. Yes. Many people say she must be good in bed because she's so crazy. Too bad she's married to a gay guy, though, right? He's missing out. But he's obviously had sex with her a few times if the babies are really theirs. So. That's fine. You want to use my lack of viewers against me? Okay. Let me show you how many viewers I'd have if I blindly supported Candace Owens. Low viewers is a sign of telling the truth, or at least it used to be. I am so insane that when my videos got too many views, I was like, oh, something's wrong. And I would delete them. That's how crazy I am. But I'll show you. Do I care? If I cared, I would be this guy, Baron Coleman. Okay. I have 100,000 subscribers who are all conspiracy theorists. You know what would have happened if I went with the conspiracy theory about Charlie Kirk? I'll show you right now. This would be my channel. Do you want to talk about who's grifting and who's not? Seriously? This is Baron Coleman. Okay? That is his subscriber growth for supporting Candace Owens. If I wanted to get people tuned in over the last 4 months, I know exactly how to do it. Do you want to know somebody who's stupid? That's me. Who has integrity? Unfortunately, for me and my pocketbook, that would be my channel if I bought into the bullshit that she's been spreading on her channel. I know it. I'm not an idiot. You want to make fun of me because of how many people I have tuned in? It's a badge of honor, sir. That's what my channel growth would look like. And I know it, and I knew it the day after Charlie got killed. You want to know what the algorithm pumps? Conspiracy theories. right now. And talking shit about Jews, which I do. And I got banned from PayPal for. What's Candace banned from? She was promoted by Jews. She's famous because of Jews that hired her and promoted her. So, yeah. You think I get paid? Like, I win the argument. Nobody would pay me. I don't have the influence. So, anyway, that's my response to you, sir. But thank you for tuning in, and I appreciate it. I'm trying to show people who suggest that people are getting paid and that there's a conspiracy to attack Candace Owens. Exactly the opposite has been true. People are getting paid or have been to support Candace Owens. Candace Owens has been getting paid to promote conspiracy theories about Charlie Kirk's death, specifically to accuse, not to ask questions, but to accuse Erica Kirk and TPUSA of having been involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk, literally. And lots of people have grown huge followings on Twitter and on YouTube by being simps for Candace Owens. Even Jimmy Dore, who's embarrassing right now. So you don't think Erica's behavior is suspicious for a pageant queen, for an actress? Not really. She is what she is. She's a pageant queen. She's a drama girl. She works for a nonprofit that gets money from Jews. The thing over the casket, oh my God. That's one of the most cringe things I've ever seen. Suspicious, though, like she killed him? Well, you'd have to provide some evidence. That's all. She is a widow. Suspicious like she killed him? Okay, well, let's get some evidence first. That's all. That's all I'm asking for. If we're going to accuse them, let's get some evidence. Besides, oh, they're all lying. Well, are they lying or are they mistaken or are they covering up for their Zionist donors? I mean, are they like, what exactly? Or people say the pig. I mean, it really is crazy. Okay, good. You don't think she plotted his murder. Okay, so you don't think Mitch saw her at the base plotting his murder. That's good. That's a good start. We'll see what she has to say about it tonight. Another jump in logic. Okay, let's talk about schizo logic a little bit. You get flack when you're over the target. Like, this is her argument at this time. This is her schizo logic at this time. Oh, I was 50-50 on Mitch. That's what she said. I was 50-50. I don't know if you like saw them there. It's like, that's what she says. And then she's like, but now I'm certain because everybody's attacking me. What kind of logic is that? Like, I've had everybody attack me before. And I accuse them all of being bots, but I'm schizo. Like, I'm genuinely insane. And have been at times. Not today, but I have been. I accused everybody of being bots. That's what Candace does. I don't think I ever said people were being paid to attack me, though. That's really a stretch. But it's schizologic. A lot of it's going on right now. So anyway, what I'd like to see is her take some accountability and admit that she might be wrong about at least Congressman Modi. Okay, that's one of them. And if you guys haven't seen the video, just go find it. I've shown it multiple times on my stream. The picture of him, okay, it's a little blurry, but it looks just like him. She lost one of her followers based on that. And she says there's no alibi. Then let's talk about the other alibi from Brian Harpole. Let's talk about that alibi too, because he was supposed, well, let's say that it is reasonable to say he took that plane. I think people are saying, well, this is what people are saying is that he could have been there at 7:30 a.m. Okay, so let's talk about that alibi. So Modi has provided an alibi. He's literally on camera from a video posted the day of. He's literally on camera when he was supposedly at the base. Okay, so that one's pretty much done. You can say it's blurry or whatever, but you're really stretching credulity to do that. Candace needs to admit that it might be. You have to say at least it might be him. It's either him or somebody who looks just like him, or like a clone or a body double. You have to get that far. So the other thing is Brian Harpole. He's shown his flight itinerary, which is an alibi. He flew to Dallas. He flew out of Dallas. Okay. He was in Dallas. People say it's not an alibi because it doesn't account for the time that Mitch said that the meeting happened, which was 7:30 or 7:37 a.m. Okay. So people demand extraordinary proof right now, which is not the way the world is supposed to work, but we'll get back to that. Brian Harpole has provided an alibi. People don't accept it, but he has provided one. It's not unreasonable. People say, well, he could have been there anyway if he had some kind of magic private jet that flew right off the base and straight back to Dallas. However, Mitch has not proven that he was there when he said he was. Candace has not proven that Mitch was there when he said he was. I'll show you how disingenuous it gets. I'm going to show you how disingenuous it gets right next, basically. Which is why I'm moving past where I said she's not lying on purpose to maybe she really is doing it on purpose. I don't know. Or she's a little schizo. Mitch was there. People keep saying that we are moving the goalpost. I say we as if I'm one of them, that people are moving the goalpost because some people denied that he was on the base. I never did. Candace said she verified it. I was like, okay, she probably verified it. He was on the base. Okay. She provided a police report saying he was on the base acting like a lunatic, which is an interesting way to prove your point by showing a police report where they were like, oh, this guy was acting like a lunatic. So we had to close down buildings and bring out bomb sniffing dogs because the guy was so crazy. But that report was at 11:17 a.m. And it seems to be when he first entered the base acting weird. So we have a guy that's super weird, acts like a schizo in public. So people actually think he has a bomb and stuff, saying crazy things. And that's evident. And that's like proof. She's like, see, I was proven right. She wasn't proven right. First of all, it's at 11:17 a.m. It doesn't prove he was there at 7:30 a.m. So until there's proof, and I'm talking about proof that he was there when he said he was, then Brian Harpole doesn't have to come up with jack shit. Because if it was at 11, then Brian Harpole's in the air already. It would have been impossible for him to be there. So that's another alibi. If you're being honest, that's another alibi. And then Erica says she wasn't there. There's some kind of confusion about the guy who was getting the information or something, where he got a picture of her on the 9th instead of the 8th, or it's confusing. But she at least claims through somebody else that she wasn't there. Okay. And then there's Cabot, which was thrown in later, which is kind of hilarious. But at first it was those three. They've all denied it. 2 have provided alibis. Both of them are good until Candace comes up with further notice. 2 of them are good. Harpole and Emoti. So that's 2 out of 3 that have provided alibis, actually, until further notice. Erica hasn't really provided an alibi. I'll agree to that. But she denies being there, obviously, which is actually enough, because Jackie makes the point that the accuser must show evidence, not the other way around. That's how things work. Some people on the internet say she's the greatest journalist ever and she's going to win some kind of award. I wonder how many subscribers I'll lose today. We'll see. The greatest journalist ever, that she's going to win some kind of award. She literally follows zero journalistic ethics. She accuses people first and asks questions later. She makes accusations and then asks for proof from either her followers or from the people she's accused, as if they owe her anything. That's not like, we live in a country, first of all, our justice system, you're innocent until proven guilty, not the other way around. But Candace is acting like it is the other way around. She says it specifically. She's like, okay, I was 50-50 on Mitch's claims at first, but now that people are acting weird, I'm going to really demand that they provide better alibis. Okay. One thing that's really important is that they don't have to. And it's kind of funny that they don't, because it's kind of funny, actually, Erica waited so long, because it just makes Candace spin out and it keeps getting worse for Candace. Because, but she's denied it. Okay. If Candace were being a good journalist, she would have asked everybody in advance, made sure to get a comment in advance. She would have asked Erica during their meeting, were you at the base? And if Erica said no, without any evidence, Candace would be required by journalistic ethics to say, my audience, although my guest is saying he saw Erica there with 99% certainty, Erica claims she wasn't there. That would be journalism, sort of. But actually, you wouldn't ever have this guest on, ever, considering his background, which she just didn't vet him. She vetted him to make sure he was on the base, which he was, most likely, by all accounts. But that part actually doesn't matter at all. So this is how disingenuous it gets. I mean, this tweet was going around like crazy. This is from some of her followers. Project Constitution. The Imaginary Gallery says Erica is a liar. She is, actually. I engaged with somebody about that. She lied about her dating past, it seems like. So I can verify that she is a liar. I'm willing to concede that. But she hasn't told lies like Mitch before. And anyway, she didn't accuse anybody of doing anything. So Erica might be a liar, but she denies being there. And she's the one being accused of plotting Charlie's murder at a military base by a lying wife beater, proven lying wife beater. So even if Erica is a liar, which I concede, she lied about her dating history to seem more Christian, probably. Doesn't matter. It's up to Mitch and Candace to prove now that she was there. It's not proof of anything that Erica lied about her dating history, or that she provided a picture that probably isn't one of her kids, but who cares? It's irrelevant. Zachary says, I know it's a stretch, but is there actual proof Harpole was on that plane? Once again, it doesn't matter. But no, I'll concede that too. Not the only way there would be proof, like men don't take selfies of themselves all the time. Women do that more. The only way there would be proof is if he was taking pictures of himself. But sometimes you can't prove it. Sometimes you can't provide an alibi. That's what's wrong with this investigation. She's demanding a solid alibi. I don't have a solid alibi for where I was yesterday. I'd have to show you the metadata in my phone. And to do that, I'd have to dox myself. So yeah, Erica probably can prove in a court of law exactly where she was, but it would dox her house if she was at home. You're going to make her do that when she already is having people threaten her and stuff? That seems unreasonable. Like, they literally don't have to provide proof. They don't have to. It's backward logic. The Imaginary Gallery said, it is a pattern, Erica's lies. It makes it difficult to believe anything she says. What else is she lying about? What do you think she's lying about? It's actually irrelevant. Mitch is a liar. I assume you think that's irrelevant. I just bring it back to you. Mitch is a liar and a wife beater. So why should we believe anything he says? Candace is a liar, proven, and she's mistaken all the time, proven. She did 2 tweets just in the last few days where she said things that were false, verifiably false. So Candace is a proven liar. If you want to use the same logic Candace uses. I'm not even like really accusing her of that. She's just mistaken a lot. But I could just say to you, it is a pattern. Candace lies. It makes it difficult to believe anything she says. What else is she lying about? I can just use it right back at you. She lied about the CIA director being replaced to make some kind of weird point on Twitter this weekend. It's documented. She said that John Ratcliffe was replaced as head of the CIA. He's still head of the CIA. She said Charlie Kirk wasn't on Fox on September 9th, but he was easily verifiable. So that's 2 lies if you want to use Candace logic. I'm just going to say she was mistaken. Doesn't do any research. But she's a liar if you want to use her logic, which is that everybody who makes a mistake or says something wrong is a liar. So it doesn't matter. Candace is accusing her of having been involved in killing her husband. Candace has to prove it. Like, it's amazing to me, her followers want everybody, they spend all of their energy attacking Candace's victims to make them come up with these rock solid alibis or whatever. That's what they spend all of their energy on. They'll argue with me about, oh, this picture, it can't be her son. It doesn't matter. Like, why don't they spend their energy asking Candace to provide some proof of something? Like, they don't spend literally, they spend no energy demanding that Candace provide proof of one thing. Like, that's where their energy should be spent. Like, Candace, can you help us out here? Like, we're losing. Can you give us something verifiable to go on? Like, why don't people do that? It's so confusing to me. Instead, they attack Candace's victims, and that's what they are. The people that she's accusing are Candace's victims, and she might get sued. The reason they're probably not suing her is because the Streisand effect or whatever. They just don't want to deal with it. But eventually it'll come down to that. Anyway, this is how crazy it gets. So, like, this is an example of one of her simps on Twitter, Project Constitution. And everybody shared this tweet as if it was a win for Candace Owens. It says, epic fail. YouTuber Gary Melton's gotcha interview with Mitch's estranged son just epically backfired. His own expose confirms Mitch's story is real. Gary brings on Mitch's estranged son, haven't spoken in 20 years, thinking he's dropping a bomb to discredit the whistleblower. Anyway, this is the point. It says, confirms Mitch's story is real. It does no such thing. It confirms Mitch was detained for being a lunatic on an army base, which I never disputed because I believe Candace vetted it as far as that goes. She said she confirmed that he was on the base. I was like, okay, she probably confirmed he was on the base. That literally doesn't matter. The only important part of the story isn't that he was on the base. It's they saw people plotting to kill Charlie Kirk. And everybody shares this. And they're like, oh, sick burn. And it doesn't confirm Mitch's story is real. It does zero such thing. No such thing. Confirms Mitch was on the base acting like a lunatic, which actually casts more doubt on Mitch's credibility in the real world. But we live so far from the real world, it's not even funny. Sometimes I feel like I'm in an upside down world at this point, which is, I guess, why I'm talking about it. But talk about weird stories. Yeah, she's having to defend herself now. I'll show you what Alex Jones said. I think Alex Jones is ridiculous. His criticisms of her are insane. But I'll show you anyway. This is what Alex Jones did today. And I guess it's trending, basically. Somebody pointed out, I was trying to tell somebody, hey, dude, he was like, people claim it's a paid campaign. That's the main thing, I guess I'm trying to say, is if it's a paid campaign now, well, the other part was a paid campaign too, because everybody was getting paid, especially Candace Owens. I can show you evidence of that. I had some help from the AI, which knows about. I wish I could have gotten Twitter information for how many followers people got by being Candace Owens simps, which I'm sure is a lot. But this is Candace Owens' revenue, her revenue over the last 6 months. Okay. Which spiked drastically after Charlie Kirk died, and is still well above where it was before Charlie Kirk died. So Candace Owens was getting paid, literally, provably, for pushing this stuff. So if people are going to say, I'm getting paid, which first of all is so ridiculous, but it's fine. I'm open to being paid for it. That's fine. But if people are going to say everybody else is getting paid, which is what they're saying, it's like, oh, they must be getting paid. That's what they're all saying. Especially this one idiot. What's his name? Diligent Denizen. He's the one saying it's a poly market. That it's because they're all with poly market that they're getting paid to attack Candace Owens all of a sudden. It's like, no. Well, if you're going to make that claim, then we can counterclaim and say, hey, you've been getting paid. You've been getting paid. If you haven't been getting paid in money, you've been getting paid in attention, which people really like. People really like clicks, views, and engagement. Most people like it way more than I do. I wouldn't mind it, but I want to. The problem is the integrity thing, which is annoying. I know. But Candace has been getting paid this whole time. She runs ads, which actually is offensive. When I talk about child abuse and stuff, I don't run ads. If I was going to talk about my friend dying and accusing people of like killing him, I think it would be a little weird to just run ads the whole time. But she's been getting paid. You get paid per click. Candace has been getting paid. That's the argument. Everybody who supported her has been getting rewarded one way or the other, many times financially. Let's see if I can translate this one. Dudley Lass says, but you're talking about it, LOL. What happened to Jones going off air after his $1 billion fine? But he's still going. It's all a lie. Lift the veil, not pull it over their heads, bro. I can tell it's an insult, but it's a confusing argument. Jones is still active after his fine. And I think Candace will probably keep going, but it's going to get weird. It's just going to keep getting weirder. So, and like I said, victim of the algorithm. It's just going to get a lot worse for her now that I realize that people are being rewarded to attack her. That's all. Now that I had that pointed out by one of her followers by making the same argument. I'll show you Alex Jones. He's as crazy as Candace, to be honest. I think it's like, anyway, I'll show you what he says. He's funny.
Let me give Candace Owens a little newsflash here. Bitch, you don't fucking sit up there on some hill and tell me who ate the cabbage. You don't sit there and tell me what to give you or what to do. You are suspect. You have the left boosting you, the left loving you, the left promoting you with your royal husband, who we're about to expose. So get ready for that, George. So we figured you out. We got your number, and you can't stand the fact that you've run this big psyop, and now it's coming to an end. This isn't about protecting TPUSA or Trump or anybody. It's about protecting the truth. And it's about us not sitting there dancing to the Pied Piper's lie of what you've done. Like I said, I got to investigate her now. I got a bad feeling. I didn't have a bad feeling. God gave me a good brain. I already knew. I dropped the ball. I apologize. She's a globalist agent. I dropped the ball and I failed you, and I'm sorry. I got to follow my gut every time.
It's always the globalist.
And I saw so much more she did. And I love her people threatening me and all their doxing of people. And all
you can't even get people's names right.
All you did was wake me up like a nuclear test site waking up Godzilla. So just get your asses ready. Because you want a war? I want your war. I want it all. I want the doxing. I want the lies. I want the attacks. I'm going to take you on. Because you work for the deep state and the Democratic Party and the CIA and MI6, and I see your ass. So you just get ready.
The funny thing is Candace is defending herself. That's what I think is funny now. It's equally crazy to say she's a CIA, like whatever. I mean, she's in some kind of weird arranged marriage to probably a gay guy, but like that's weird enough. I mean, it's super weird. Then she was introduced apparently she was either introduced by Paul Joseph Watson, who's a cocaine addict or something, or John Mappin, who's a crazy Scientologist. John Mappin, I mean, one of her biggest supporters is some crazy Scientologist who dressed up as a lizard for Christmas. I'll answer that, Zachary. One moment. Oh, I'll show comments on stage so I can get to it. But it's equally insane to say she's CIA. I don't think she's CIA. She's just like everybody else. She just wants attention. She likes being famous. And she likes accusing people of stuff. Seems like she has a history of that since she was young, accusing people of racism first for money. She sued her landlord, accused them of black mold, giving her yeast infections. She likes doing that. She has a history of it. She's doing it now, accusing people of shit that they probably didn't do for money. She's done that her whole life, it seems like. This is a difficult question, Zachary. I know you don't believe anything Candace says, which is understandable. I'm curious if you believe the FBI's narrative. Sometimes the truth is boring. It may have been some gay Reddit kid. So the difference between the FBI, I don't believe or disbelieve the official story. It's going to court, which is good. As long as everything's not fake, which I'm open to. More over the years, I've grown to believe more things are real than I originally thought. As long as things aren't fake, his defense lawyers should try to defend him. If, for example, the text messages are fake. Okay. The difference between Candace's theories and the FBI's theory is the FBI has evidence, supposedly, which is super controversial. And Jimmy Dore laughed at somebody on Twitter, which I thought was particularly embarrassing. Somebody on Twitter asked Jimmy Dore, "Hey, Jimmy, you say the text messages are fake. What's your proof?" And Jimmy wrote something back like, "Haha, thanks for playing." And then I think retweeted it as if that was proof that the text messages are fake. This is the attitude basically of everybody. And it becomes a false dichotomy, which is that if you think Candace Owens is being weird, then you believe the government story 100%. It's a false dichotomy. They're like, oh, you're a Fed slop, whatever. But I will say, at least the feds have evidence. Until proven otherwise, unfortunately. At least they have those text messages, which haven't been proven to be fake. And until further notice, then who am I to say? Like, I can't say they're fake. I never thought they were impossible. That the kid is supposedly a genius, got perfect scores on his ACTs and stuff. So it's logical to think he might write a little different than other Gen Z weirdos. So until further notice, he confessed. And what am I going to say? Candace has connections, right? Like, she's supposed to have connections. She has this big show. She's asking for tips and stuff. Well, until somebody can prove that those are fake, then he actually confessed. And what am I to say? Maybe a 30-06 should have blown his head off. But actually, I don't know. And most people saying it actually don't know themselves. They're relying on the words of other people. Pretty much, I would say almost everybody who's going to say, oh, a 30-06 would never do that, they don't know. Jimmy Dore doesn't shoot guns. I guarantee that. All the girls that say it, they don't shoot guns. They're not hunting deer. They're not hunting boar. Everybody's saying it because they heard it from somebody else. But I don't know. Could a 30-06, what the fuck do I know? Maybe. Some people are saying the bullet disintegrated or something. Is that possible? Yeah, maybe. Nick Fuentes says Martin Luther King got shot with a 30-06 that also didn't exit, that ended up in his shoulder. Well, it's difficult because that was a conspiracy too. But if that's the case, like, then there is evidence that a 30-06 doesn't always exit. I don't know. On the other hand, this one guy ran a bunch of experiments where he shot a 30-06 through a bunch of pig carcasses or something, and they went through every time. I just don't know. Like, I have no expertise, and I wouldn't listen to anybody if they don't have expertise. Chris Martinson says like he ran like 55 tests where he shot some kind of pig's head with a spine and stuff, and the bullet went through and through every single time. I have to keep an open mind. That's the best evidence that he didn't get shot with a 30-06, but I think he got shot with something. So what's your other theory then? You know what I mean? Maybe he didn't get shot by a 30-06, but it looks like they killed him with something. Don't know. C. Zurides, why isn't the MSM addressing a 30-06 then? Well, what would they address? I mean, I'm just wondering. They have a gun, they have DNA, supposedly. They have the bullet fragments, which supposedly match, from what I understand. So apparently he got shot with a 30-06. What would they question? Here's somebody in the chat. I shoot guns. My family shoot guns. There's different grains. Right. That's what I've heard. Some are made for small prey and rodents, so don't go through. Yeah, I've seen somebody say that. Like maybe the guy was shooting a 30-06 bullet that didn't have the grain that goes all the way through for deer hunting or whatever. You have to at least consider it's possible. Like that's the way I think. It's like, it's not impossible to me that he was shot with a 30-06 because I don't know any better. I'm not going to just rely on the word of people who have ulterior motives. And I know the people saying it don't know. They've just heard it and they're just repeating it. So, hey, Tommy King, let's see. Gonna bring a light in your show tonight if I get a dead man stream. Okay. Don't know what that means. That's okay. Yeah, no reply. That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. I heard it from Nick Fuentes. The MLK was shot with a 30-06 embedded in his shoulder. It didn't go through. He got shot the same way, basically with a 30-06, and it supposedly stayed inside. And if that's true, then that debunks that theory, actually. Now, it's a tough one because MLK, who knows if the official story is true there, certainly. But you say it's from half the distance? See, yeah. I understand, though. It's another conspiracy theory, so it's hard to use that. But all right, let's see if there's anything else I want to talk about. I think I've addressed most of the things. I wanted to talk about schizologic because that's where we are right now. I want to talk about innocent until proven guilty, which is not the standard Candace is using. I wanted to talk about if you're taking flack, you're over the target. That's false. Sometimes if you're taking flack, it's because everybody hates you. That's all. Because it happened to me before. It wasn't because I was right. It was because everybody hated me, actually. I didn't really acknowledge that. It doesn't mean you're over the target. If everybody's criticizing you, it doesn't mean it's a government op. It just means people don't like you. It's not logic to say if I'm taking flack, I'm over the target. Or to say everyone who disagrees with me is a bot, or to say, oh, it must be a paid campaign. None of that's logical. That's all. So I'll go to the chat, see if anybody has any more questions. And then she's going to be going live on Twitter. The Queen will be going live on Twitter in about 15 minutes. I think those are the main things I wanted to say. Recognize schizologic. It's not sane. And people use it all the time. And it's funny that Alex Jones is using it against Candace. And Candace is trying to defend herself. But she's got a weird marriage. She married a guy after knowing him for 2 weeks, and he proposed online over Skype or something. That's weird. He was like, oh, she was a powerful woman. Yeah, the mic exploded. See? That's the trouble that Candace has now, is like half of her listeners think he didn't even die and it's all fake, or they think he was electrocuted. Thanks, Rocky. Yes, Doshi lives on in our mind. And you can still get Doshi stuff free on the website. I'll check to see if anybody gave me any coffees today. We'll check that. Well, then we'll find out if we're getting paid. If we're getting paid, we appreciate it. So let's see. It looks like I got one coffee, so I am getting paid to do this. Glad you're back on the tube and have a great new year. Thank you very much. And then actually, no, I think this other one is new too. Gina bought 3 coffees and says, thank you for bringing us the news, the real news. So happy to have the show back. Thank you. Well, one thing we've done is we continue to find our old subscribers who weren't getting notifications when we went live. So, but I lose subscribers every day. But I expected that. It's because I don't talk, like I'm just not feeding the slop that the people like. And people are getting notifications and they're annoyed and they're like, oh, I got to unsubscribe. So that's okay, because I'm getting some new subscribers and people are still tuning in and the show is still growing actually. So just got to tell the things we like. I gave him $1, says hit the like. Yes. Feed the algorithm, please. Hit the like, hit the bell, etc. Hit the like, hit the bell, subscribe, follow. Give me a coffee at any time, even when the show's not live, at buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. Buy a t-shirt at any time by going to truthclothing.io and helping us liquidate our inventory. R563 says you do not need to be a hunter to know what a 30-06 is capable of. That's a ridiculous thing to say. Is it? How else would you know? You have to take somebody's word, right? Oh, I'm getting more views than David Seaman. That's good. Thank you. Good. I destroyed his career. Wouldn't do it again. I kind of didn't want to at the time. Somebody put me up to it, to making that hit piece about David Seaman. Somebody else did most of the research. Well, no, not most of it. I did a lot myself too. But I got some good ones. Have we talked about Somalia? Not yet. We'll talk about it we'll do another show where we talk about real news. Today's show is about Candace, and I know people are tired of it. Yeah, there's a big video about the Somalian daycares. We can talk about that. We're dropping bombs apparently in Venezuela. So we have to give you guys some real news. Trump just had Netanyahu at the White House. He's going to support bombing Iran, which is sweet. He's doing a lot of things that people are going to like. Trump is going to support Israel bombing Iran. Apparently we just bombed Venezuela for real, like their port, where many boats were supposedly being loaded with drugs. So we're getting involved in a land war in Venezuela. Trump says somehow he's going to make sure Bibi gets pardoned, which is, once again, exactly what we voted for, I'm sure. So those are some of the things happening in the real news. Silver and commodities and gold and everything else crashed today. One of the last shows was about silver, which I was asking people if I should buy some over the weekend. Well, everything crashed today. And it could keep getting worse. So that's in the news too. Silver, like platinum, palladium, were down so far 14, 15% or something. Gold was down a lot. It was down like 4% today, even though it hadn't really been pumping, which is annoying to me. I'm not buying anything for now. I'm going to wait it out, see what the hell happens. We could be near the end. When metals spike the way they have been, apparently it's a sign of apocalypse. And this is an apocalyptic show. Trump said he's going to sue Jerome Powell. That'd be funny. I'm sure that's what we voted for too. How did I take out Seaman? Did it have to do with Bitcoin? No. It had to do with the fact that it had to do half with the fact that on a podcast, it might have been Joe Rogan, on a podcast, he said, I would say that gravity wasn't real if it got me clicks. That's what he said in an interview. David Seaman. That was the hook for the video. And it wasn't a clip I found. It was somebody fed to me. Somebody wanted a hit piece on David Seaman. Apparently multiple people did. The research I did was on his gold sponsor, which I found to be shady. He had a gold sponsor, which was kind of shady. And so I did a bunch of research on that. Apparently caused the gold sponsor a lot of problems. Like they threatened to sue me and stuff. So we don't want no problems here, though. Seema is already fantastically rich. Well, he was pumping Bitcoin and Ethereum at the right time. That's for sure. So he might be doing fine. He was in, I should have listened to him about that. I got into Bitcoin and stuff much later. So, all right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. If you're interested in the Queen, I am very interested to hear what happens tonight. This could be a real show tonight on Twitter. So I suggest you tune in if you're interested in this topic. And if you want to raise your hand and ask her some questions, it'll be really interesting to see if she allows any of her critics to confront her, because she actually does very poorly when confronted. I've noticed she did poorly on Piers Morgan. She did poorly on CNN when she was confronted about the things she said. So let's see. Morari says, I am delusional. Thank you. I wear it as a badge of honor. All right, guys. Enjoy the Twitter Spaces tonight with Candace Owens. And thank you for tuning in. And thank those who support the show. Thanks, everybody, for being my friend. For now, have a good night. And that is what it is.